Gradients are amazing in Illustrator. So in this video, I'll be showing you how you can create these kind of gradients in Illustrator. So this video might be a bit longer than usual because I'll be explaining everything about gradients. So without wasting much of your time, let's get started. So let's create a new document. I'll be naming it as gradient. You can name it anything. So in order to apply gradient fills, you need an object on the artboard. So here I'll be using the rectangle tool, the shortcut of which is M, and you can find this in the tool panel also. So select the rectangle tool and then make a rectangle, and in this case you will see that you will get the default white fill and black stroke. So now in order to apply gradient, what you have to do, you just have to go to this gradient panel option. Actually, I want to say one thing is that gradients can be applied to object in two ways. One way is through the gradient panel and another is through the gradient tool. That gradient tool you can also find here in the tools bar. If you want to check this out, you can check this for now, but later I'll be explaining you about this also. So let's remove the stroke from this object. First of all, you can either hit slash on the keyboard or you can use this strike here so that the stroke will be removed. So I'll remove the stroke, I'll work with the fill. So now you have to get this gradient panel. If you can't see this here, you just have to go to Windows and then you have to find gradients here. See, it's gradients, and the shortcut of which is Control F9. Once you get this one, you will see something like this. This will be consisting of option of this gradient, this type, and it will have some more option which I'll be explaining you later. So first I'll be applying the gradient to this object. You just have to click here or just here. Anywhere if you'll click, the gradient will be applied to the object. So if I'll click it here, the gradient is applied. If I'll click here, the gradient is applied. After applying gradients, you will see that two stoppers are active here. What you can do with this stopper is that you can just shift it anywhere between this slider, and the colors will change accordingly. And you can also change the color of this particular stopper to any other color. Suppose if you want to set it to another color, you just have to double click on this, left click, select any one of the color here, and you can also change the color of this slider. Suppose double click on it and select this color. You can see that how it's gradually changing as you are changing the color in gradient. And you will also get one more thing here. This is known as the midpoint of these two stoppers. And next option which I'll be explaining you is about the types of gradient. Illustrator actually give you two kinds of gradient. One is linear and another is radial. So if you will go here and click on it, you will find that there are two kinds actually. And you will get a radial if you will select the radial one, and if you will get linear if you will select the linear one. So now after this, suppose you want to add a few more color to this one, and you want to add your colors to this gradient. You just don't want these default swatches or these default colors to be added here. Then what you can do in that case is that you just have to add your own colors to this swatches panel. So to add color to this swatches panel, either you have to make your own colors or you have to download any kind of color libraries, Adobe libraries, or you just have to go on internet and find any kind of suitable colors. Suppose I have already made these swatches for myself, so I'll be using this color itself in the gradient. So what you can do is that you just have to left click on it and just simply drag it to the swatches panel anywhere, and this color will be added, right? Once it is added here, it will be shown itself here also. So suppose if you will double click on this, you will find those color here itself. And if you want to change the color, let's add this, you will see the change is applied, and it is looking a bit good actually. And you can also change the angle of the gradient. Suppose if you change it to 45 degree, you will see that how the colors have changed. Actually it's a bit difficult to find here because the colors are not varying that much. So suppose in this case, if I'll make this color a bit reddish kind, yellowish kind, you will see that how the gradient is changing from one color to other in a specific angle which you have applied. You can also reverse the gradient using this reverse gradient switch here. If you will reverse it, the colors will reverse totally in the angle which you have applied. And suppose if you want to add few more colors to this gradient, what you can do is that you just have to go to the gradient slider, put your mouse pointer below this gradient slider and give a left click. Once you have given a left click, you will see that another stopper is added, and once it is added, you can change the color easily, as I have explained it earlier. So suppose if you want to change it, just give a double click on this one and add any other color which you want. Let's take this. No, not this one. Let's actually take this orangey color. And as you start shifting these colors, you will gradually see that how these three colors are blending with each other and making this gradient look cool. So suppose let's say you want to add another color to this gradient, you just have to do that same method which I have already explained. That is, just bring your mouse pointer below this gradient slider and just give a left click, so another color will be added, and you can also change it by just double clicking over it. And you can see that how these four colors are actually blending with each other. And you can see that between these two stopper there is a midpoint which can be shifted easily, and also between these 2 points and between these 2 points, so these stoppers can be shifted accordingly according to your need actually. And you can also keep on changing the angle of this, like this or any one which you feel like. You can also do one more thing, and that thing is that you can change the opacity of the particular stopper. Suppose if you select this stopper and start changing the opacity from 100 to 50, wait, from 100 to 50, you will see that the color has become 50% opaque, or it is transparent. And if you want to change the opacity of this one, it will change accordingly, right? So this way gradient opacity works. Let's switch back it to 100 again, so that I can explain a bit more about this. And once you have created the gradient, the most important thing is that, as I have said earlier, gradients can be applied to any object in two ways. One is through the gradient panel and another is through the gradient tool. The gradient tool is handy just because it allows you to do all these things in the artboard itself. So if suppose you will select this gradient tool, the shortcut of which is G. So what actually gradient tool provides you is that it provides you with all the option which is present in the gradient panel on the artboard itself. So as soon as you will click on this gradient tool, you will find that a thin line with a circle at one end and a square at another end appears. So what actually this is actually known as gradient annotator. This gradient annotator allows you to change the angle of the gradient, or to change the position of the gradient, add another gradient slider, add another midpoint, and add another color to the gradient itself. So suppose you will see that there are as soon as you will bring your mouse pointer here, you will see those four colors which we have applied already to this gradient. You will see this one which will be used to increase or decrease the size of this gradient. This is the ending point of the gradient. Suppose if I'll bring this here, you will see that this color will have, this one will have more area over this, and those at the end will be shifted outside. If you will you'll shift it towards the middle, you will find that this will take most of the areas actually. So let's see, bring it back again to that position, and suppose if you are not able to see this annotator, you just have to go to views and select show gradient. You will find show gradient annotator here if you are unable to see it. And once it's done, let's see how to do it. If you will bring your mouse pointer here, you will see this rotate symbol, and if you'll rotate it, you will see that how gradient is changing. And if you'll hold on shift left click, you will see how it's changing in a particular angle. So let's suppose you want this angle, and as soon as you will change it, you will see how gradients has shifted itself. And suppose if you will change it like this, you will see that how the angle of the gradient fill is changing. You can also change the size, I mean, to bring all the colors in particular direction. And also you can add few more stopper here by doing that same method. Just bring your mouse pointer below this annotator and just hit left click on your mouse. You will add another stopper here. You can change the color here itself. Suppose if you add any other color, it will change here itself. So now I think gradient annotator is almost clear to you, gradient panel is almost clear to you. One more important thing is that you can add this gradient to your swatch also. So to do that, you have to select the object which consists of that gradient, and you have to go to swatches panel. If you can't see it here, you can go in windows and swatches, and then you have to click on this option, actually this one, and then give it a name, and then add it. So you will see that it's added here. And suppose if you make another and you want to add that particular gradient, you just have to do one thing: go to swatches panel and select that gradient. And this gradient can be actually applied to any object which you want. Suppose if you make a uh, circle instead of rectangle, you can apply it to that also. You can add it to star also. It can be added to anything actually. And gradients can also be applied to strokes. Just switch it back, and you will see that it's applied to the stroke itself. If you'll increase the size, you will see how gradient has taken the shape of this one. So in this way you can create gradients though it's not looking that much good, but you can check out your own colors, add your colors, check it if it's looking beautiful or it's looking good. You can also use this gradient in your as your Android wallpaper or anything. So this was it about gradient fills, how it should be applied to an object, how it should be applied to strokes, how to change the colors of gradient, how to change the angle of it, and how to use the gradient tool. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because uploading these kind of explainers and also short videos on tips and tricks in Adobe Illustrator and After Effects in future. Don't forget to share this video with your friends, those who are new to Illustrator and are beginners to it and also want to learn Illustrator. Give a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this video. Thanks guys for watching.